the thumbnail was me trying to do the Bill Murray black and white picture that you see everywhere. I don't think that really came across. But anyway, this is my review of On the Rocks, and a big shout out to Apple Films and A24. They got me a link for this, and it actually went to my spam, so I'm a little late on getting this review in, but they kept the link up anyway so I could watch it. So big thanks to them. And for those that don't know, this is the latest Sofia Coppola film with Bill Murray and Rashida Jones in it, and it's A24, and like I said, it's also Apple original films, and right now it's in theaters, but it'll be coming to Apple TV Plus on October, is it 22nd or 23rd? 23rd. So if you can't make it to the theaters, you can definitely see it there. So a quick background real fast, just on my thoughts on Coppola and Murray, especially working together. One of my personal favorite films is Lost in Translation. I love it. It's just my kind of film where it's very laid back. It has great atmosphere. It's very slow moving, but there's something very comforting about it as well. But there's also kind of a depressing side to it also, and they both really feed into each other. And they're very smart. It's very smart. It's very well written. So absolutely love it. The interesting thing about Coppola, though, is that I feel like she's kind of been making the same movie over and over again. There seems to be this angle of it's this very kind of ritzy lifestyle, this extravagant lifestyle, and something is wrong. Something is a little off, whether it be the lifestyle itself or someone is just not pulling their weight, or maybe it's the main characters just feeling depressed, something like that. And I feel like that's kind of been like a repeating thing in her movies. I'm thinking like Somewhere, I'm thinking of Marie Antoinette, certainly, and usually there's kind of different things are the problem, but there's always a little thing that kind of turns into a big thing, and, the resolution is usually like a half and half resolution, like, well, okay, that's kind of a happy ending, kind of not, kind of thing. But here's the thing, I like that formula, and it's something where if somebody's like, man, I just feel like I've seen the story over and over again, this is very similar. This is, once again, Bill Murray. In this movie, he plays the father of the main character, played by Rashida Jones, who has a suspicion that her husband is cheating on her. And majority of the movie is Bill Murray making dad jokes and a lot of spouting a lot of pointless teachings that most people don't care about or even wrong half the time. But it's very, if you have a dad, you will recognize, a lot of these jokes and a lot of these bits of needless information. And it's mostly them hanging out, trying to figure out, if her husband is cheating on her or not. And it kind of gets a little sillier, but not quite, like slapsticky or anything like that. Again, if you've seen her movies, you know the kind of comedy she does and the kind of drama she does. So at the very end, without going into spoilers, at the very end, in the last third, I'd say, I was saying to myself, man, I don't know if this is working. This is seeming a little too forced, a little too convoluted, a little too Hollywoodish, like steps away from turning into like a zany comedy. But when you finally get to the end, when you get to maybe like the last, 15, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, where it does wrap up a little too quick, I'm not gonna lie, but the way they wrap it up and what you realize the focus of the movie truly was, which is not a big surprise, you can kind of guess it, but it's not about one relationship, it's actually about a different relationship. And again, that's not a big surprise, you can figure that out. But the resolution, the conclusion they come to with that relationship, I think is what made the film work. Because then you can look back and realize, okay, I wasn't watching this necessarily from a fun, zany point of view. Or you kind of were, but there's kind of something else going on with their connection there between the father and daughter, and it works, and you hear more about their past as they talk with one another, and their connection, and sort of why how they view each other at the beginning, how they view each other at the end, and how it's changed and how it also hasn't changed. So there is a lot going on in this film, more than you will probably realize until the end. If even then. I feel like a lot of people probably watch this and be like, what? That's it? That's all we get? But I feel like when you look back and realize that you are supposed to be watching this much more from the honestly, from a couple of different angles, both an idealistic, but also pessimistic, looking at with hope and looking at from, some things will never change. It's good. It does balance out, in my opinion. Rashida Jones is very good in this. I hope I'm saying her name right. I just realized I never actually said it out loud before. But I think that's how you say it. Murray, who I've said his name lots of times because I absolutely love Bill Murray, and again, love Lost in Translation, is good, but I do question a little bit some of the inflections in this. And what I mean is, so the idea is, obviously, he's supposed to be a dad. He's supposed to be a know-it-all dad. Bill Murray already kind of acts like that, and there's a sense that he's kind of going back and forth between here's a know-it-all dad who has his own insecurities and such, and here's Bill Murray. But Bill Murray is such a presence, and such a unique presence, that it's hard to tell whether or not that's just his performance or how we view him. And the one scene in particular, again, without saying the exact line or anything, his daughter just really rips him apart somewhere in the third act. And the line he says and the way he says it seemed very off, and I can't figure out if that was intentional or not. It's one of those things where you kind of look and you go, man, is that brilliant or just a phenomenal misstep? You know what I mean? And I feel like people are going to look at it different ways. They're either going to say, wow, that was chilling, or that didn't work at all. So I'm really curious what people take out of that. But at the same time, I guess because the character is a little bit of a mystery, like he talks all the time and we do get a lot of backstory on him, but because part of his character is that he doesn't show a ton of emotion, and even some of the scenes where he does, they're effective and they do work very well. But he does keep himself guarded, and he does hide behind, a bunch of useless facts and bad jokes and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how people react to that. If they take that as, man, that was like so good and just wrapped up everything about his character so nicely, or if people are gonna be like, that didn't fit at all. So if you do get a chance to see this film, I definitely know what you thought of that too. Okay, I'm really curious. But overall, I say if you're looking for Lost in Translation, it's not as good as that. I really think Lost in Translation was just this beautiful mix of atmosphere and personality in both the backdrops and the people actually acting in it as well, the performances. Where this one, it's good performances, and it does eventually map out to something that is, very good and very effective, but it's not something where I feel like, man, that tugged at my heart, you know what I mean? It's not slap your knee funny either. Where Lost in Translation, I felt, had several of those moments and really, really worked well. But this one's decent. I think it's a decent movie. If you like Sofia Coppola's films, if you like Bill Murray, I say check it out. Even if you find yourself not enjoying the whole thing, I think there's enough moments in there and enough good performances and writing that you'll be glad you saw it. But yeah, I say check it out. I think it's worth it. It's definitely a repeat of her past, a lot of past elements that she's used a lot, but she always utilizes them very well, in my opinion. So I think it's worth it. If you're a Coppola fan, a Murray fan, or even a Jones fan, check it out. I think you'll like it okay. So that's about it. I will see you guys next time. Take care.